So yeah, that was a little wild. I just collapsed as predicted. And then I woke up and I was so disoriented that I thought it was the morning, like tomorrow morning. And I was processing through my head all the things like, okay, what I want to get done this morning, what kind of things are my highest priority. This is a Tuesday, that means it's trash day. I got to be thinking about trash. It honestly took a minute to process that it was actually just the afternoon, and that I had been digging it. I conked. I didn't wake up once. Holy crap! I apparently really needed that. So, jumping right into it, something that they've done, at least since Skyrim, I don't actually remember when they started this, is there's kind of a live interpreter for the quest marker to show you the closest way to reach the destination you want to reach, okay? That's fine as long as the terrain is standard. Nothing unusual about it. So as you can see, our quest marker is right down there through the floor. Now I can tell you right now what that's pointing towards. I'm pretty sure. Sorry, let me double check this. It's in the water. I'm almost positive. Yeah, that's pointing down. Wow!
Not even gravity can stop you, Captain.
It's pointing towards that, okay? Cool, cool. Now, if you don't understand why that's funny, please allow me to elucidate upon exactly where our destination is. Now, I'm sure that route down there will actually take us to our destination. Assuredly, assuredly. But our destination is right there, up that staircase, as I will showcase by walking forward a few feet before the game realizes that this is our destination. And there's, oh yeah, you should go right here. What's funny is I don't... Up there it goes. I was going to say, I don't have 100% reliability on this. But it's honestly kind of funny to see this happen live. To just see that. Like, hey, I was so out of it. I was getting set up for stream. I was so out of it that for just a second, I was like, oh, I'm going the wrong way. And I started turning around to go towards the dot, right? Because Skyrim especially, but Skyrim, Fallout 4, and Starfield have programmed me so hard to abandon any sense of mapping or navigation in my brain and to just follow the marker, that I automatically assumed I'm wrong and I should follow the marker. And if I could jump in here really quick, I think that deserves a negative. Now, allow me to explain a little bit here. So the quest markers themselves are not bad. That's fine. That's whatever. We've actually talked about this extensively on this show. We even talked about it during the Oblivion run. So allow me to give my sister the destruction. What's up? Hi. What are you doing? What horrors are you about to wreak? Hang on. I've got like this over here. Ah!
Spin out.
Hang on, I just got hit by a blue shell. I've stopped spinning. Thank you for the soup.
You're welcome. There's another soup.
I didn't know what it was. So
It's
I was worried.
hot and sour soup.
Yeah, the dumpling soup?
Wonton soup.
Wonton soup is really good.
It's one of Kazra's favorites.
So good. I ate it all. What is it? I'm gonna regret that probably. How are you doing?
Okay, you're not running.
No, I just took a 4-hour nap, excuse me. So that goes to... But do not actually put it on. It doesn't stay on like now. And it will just slide right off.
It doesn't stay on like at all.
I am astonished that didn't fall off there. This thing has fallen off this so many times. It actually damaged the poor thing.
It doesn't stay on at all.
It does not stand reliably enough to not risk damaging. Extremely rare model that I can't get anymore. Stop making these. So, please stop trying to damage my extremely rare model that I can't even get anymore.
Doesn't stay on
Ah!
at all.
Ah!
At all.
It's safe. It's safe.
That's what tickles me is the at all. And then both times I
Listen.
sat, I think you just didn't have, if you put it on like slightly sideways,
Oh, yeah.
then it doesn't, because it's gotta, it goes on the pole about this far.
Anyways.
Was this still Starfield?
Yeah, so check this out. This is great. You know what a quest marker is, of course.
Uh-huh.
So my quest marker says to go down there, okay?
Okay.
Okay. My quest is up there.
Are you sure?
Yes. I can even prove it. Watch this. Watch this. As I go up this staircase, the game will realize that my quest is up there and re-acknowledge that that is my destination. But if I go back down, I'm like, this is 100% repeatable. If I go back down here and give it a few seconds, it'll be like, oh yeah, no, you should go down
Go
there.
jump in the water.
I should go jump in the water and swim. Actually, you can't swim in this game. They got rid of that.
But
I
they
should-
didn't put invisible walls up around the water, did they?
I should clarify that. What I mean by that is I can't swim. This is ground.
Are you walking on the water?
No, but it's ground. I cannot go down. And also the water looks terrible. Look at that. It just looks so bad.
It's better than a lot of games.
It's so terrible. Look at it.
It's very reflective. It's like you're swimming in mercury.
Yeah. Some people said it was like gelatin. My favorite part,
No, this isn't gelatin.
most people don't even notice this till I point it out. There is no interaction between the water and the object at all. You see how it's just completely ignoring the lily pads because there's no
Yes.
I don't know what it's called, but
It's just a texture across the top of the
yeah,
water.
yeah. It's just so there's nothing there to interact with it. Which, as I like to point out, SNES games have better looking water than that.
Wait. You were supposed to swim to your quest.
All right, let me swim to my quest really quick here. There we go.
See what
But
was
the
at the
marker's right there. It's fine.
I wanted to see what was at the
I'm
marker.
I'm pretty
the
sure.
water.
This is the funny thing. I'm pretty sure this would actually lead me to my destination going down here. So, what I was telling Chad just a second ago. Come on, update. There you go.
Okay. 41 somethings that way.
41 meters. Yep. So, in order to get that, we actually have to do this. So, what happened earlier was I was going towards this. So, because I was kind of out of it. So I was so blindly walking towards it. I was like, yeah, I'll just go towards the elevator down here. And as I went down, and let's see if I can replicate this, because it didn't. But as I went down to here, it updated. It updated to indicate up there again. And so I found myself very, very briefly going through a loop of, oh, I need to go up here. Oh, I need to go down there.
So go take the elevator and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm curious now. Because obviously there are multiple entrances to places like this. And this is the kind of thing that has happened since Fallout 3. And possibly Oblivion. Yeah, no, apparently it's just, I could just use this elevator and that elevator to go to the same spot, because yeah, here we are. That's wild.
There.
I am amused. But what I was actually trying to get at is that I think this deserves a negative. Not because it was pointing in the right direction, the wrong direction, in between.
But because it wasn't consistent in the direction it was pointing.
Biggest problem that Bethesda games
It would be
have
like
had-
if you were driving somewhere using Google Maps. You know how there's multiple routes. If every time you came to an intersection where there was a different route, instead of like being like, hey, there's this other route, it was just like all of a sudden going, instead of saying going straight through this intersection, it was like, go left. Okay, go right. Okay, I'm back on the road. I was just, okay, go left. Okay.
You'll get to your destination.
You will. It'll just take longer.
Yeah, recalculating.
No, not without the recalculating.
Oh, even worse. I guess that's true. It
There's
didn't
two
actually,
routes, so every time you come across where another route diverges, you're like, bonk!
I made a terrible mistake.
What's that?
I have no water.
I don't know what you're gonna do.
I know. I don't either.
You have Gatorade.
I do. I have to rely on that.
Water break!
Well, yeah, I'm gonna get some water, but real quick, I do want to make this point really quick here because one of the things.
I'm gonna go find my face.
Okay. I love your hair right now, by the way. Really.
You should have seen it last night. So apparently yesterday I had my headphones on for too long. So I had like this flat spot right here where my headphones go. And then everything else was like... Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is actually the result of like a half of a day's trying to get it to be somewhat less chaotic.
That's hilarious. Morrowind went out of its way. We'll talk about this when we cover Morrowind. To give descriptions in the quests so that you could find where you're going and what you're doing with quest markers, because they didn't exist, right? And that was a whole thing. And to my knowledge, only really screwed up twice. We pointed out both of these instances during the lore run when the directions were not clear. 2 exceptions. That's pretty good, in all honesty. And Morrowind, like many video games, encouraged you to kind of mentally memorize where was what and how to get where. You kind of have that mental map, right? And the longer you play the game, the more familiar you are with where you are and how to get to where you want to go. I'm sure almost every single one of you knows what I'm talking about if you've played any kind of game like this at all. Now, when we start moving forward, timeline-wise, the 2 next big ones, which is Oblivion and Fallout 3, started leaning more on the marker. But in both Oblivion and in Fallout 3, yeah, ditto TSB. In both Oblivion and in Fallout 3, there was still directions, and there's still a fairly strong degree of what I can only call landscape design, right? I bet you most of you who have played Fallout 3 to any extent, or played Oblivion to any extent, could find your way to Megaton, or to Cheydinal, or to Bruma, or to wherever, right? Just by ignore the map for a second, and ignore, the fast travel system. Just by navigation, you could probably tell me where the Mages Guild is in Cheydinal. You could probably tell me where the Fighters Guild is in Coral, right? You could probably tell me where exactly Moira's place is in Megaton, right? Because just navigation. But starting with Skyrim, and I can point to Skyrim specifically, they stopped doing as much of that that landscaping design. They stopped... I'm saying this wrong. I apologize. I'm very out of it. I'm screwing up my words. That's my fault. Skyrim, I think, is when they officially tipped over to no longer really designing the landscaping as well. Because by Skyrim's time, they started really leaning on the quest marker to the point where it was actually egregious. In fact, there's the option to turn off the quest marker in Skyrim, and if you do, good freaking luck. Because in several cases, the quests or the dialogue will not tell you where to go at all. There's a local cave that has such and such in it, is oftentimes the only direction you'll get. So you have to rely on that marker to tell you where to go and how to progress there. And while there is some design to the layouts of some areas in Skyrim, then there's the rest of it. And again, this is the reason I had to correct myself is this is a bit of a gradient, because they've been on this transition from, very, very carefully designed landscaping design up to just screw it design. And I bring this up because Starfield is absolutely the pinnacle of this. I have had so many times. I've been playing this game for 5 days now, nonstop. I'm up to something like 40 hours played, and I do not know where things are still. I could not navigate certain areas based on just memory. Now, granted, I'm an idiot, but ignoring my own stupidity on the matter, it's just there's so little need to design so much of it, and the game itself naturally encourages you to not walk to your destination. It encourages you to fast travel there. It even has intercity fast travels, and it leans on that quest marker so hard for anything that leads outside of the city, which is most quests if you're paying attention. Very, very few quests are actually in the city, other than to get to the person to turn in, and then to leave again to go back out to your local spot. You can't, I'm explaining this wrong, but if I'm in Oblivion, I'm going to use Oblivion as example, because I know Oblivion the best. If I'm in Oblivion, and someone tells me to head on the Golden Road, south-southeast outside of Cheydinal, on the route down to, oh God, I can't think of the name of the town all of a sudden. Leyawiin, there we go. I have a pretty good idea of where that is and what to do and what I'm looking for. And there's a non-zero chance that if I do that, I will run into things that I'm actually looking for, and probably some stuff I'm not. I can go, to put this in the bluntest terms possible, explore. If this game tells me to go to made up a stan 3000. I'm not good at making up names. Forgive me. And go to some random planetoid and to some random rock to turn in some random thing, or to find some random ship that happens to be orbiting this other distant star, I have absolutely no idea where that is. I barely have an idea of which systems include which core cities at this point, because of how massively disconnected everything is. And that's ignoring the incredible amount of just swaths of empty terrain that exist in this game. So the negative, in this case, and we're establishing precedence here, because we are going to give this negative to Skyrim when we get there. I'm not actually sure if we gave this negative to Oblivion. I'll have to double check. I don't think we did. But the negative here is over-reliance on the quest marker. Because there's nothing necessarily wrong with a quest marker. So a hill I have stood upon and been attacked for having that opinion for literal years. But when you over-rely on the quest marker, other aspects of game design almost always suffer as a direct consequence of that. Okay. I've got all my useless dialogue out. I apologize for wasting your time on that. You gotta earn those negatives, right? That's how that works. You gotta earn those negatives.
Applicant to the piloting simulation chamber. Please enter the designated simulation pod to initiate your exam. This is the Mark 18 flight simulation chamber, applicant. Currently in orbit around a high-detail recreation of a remote world. When you're ready to begin, please take a seat in the pilot's chair.
Don't think I gave it to FF14, Blade Traval. So I'm going to lean towards no. Because I don't feel like the usage of quest markers is a detractory element for FF14. And frankly, WoW has good enough quest design that it's not going to get that negative, period. When a quest in WoW says, go north to the such-and-such ridge and look for this item, it usually means go north to the such-and-such ridge, and thereupon you'll find that item. There is a quest marker, but there's also direction in almost every case. So, yeah, no, WoW's not going to get that negative. And like I said, I don't think I gave FF14 that one. I don't think I'm going to. So, anecdotes. I did some looking into it. Apparently, we can join the UC without it causing any issues with the Freestar. Cool. They're not mutually exclusive. So it's the Skyrim approach, or the Oblivion approach, as opposed to the Morrowind approach, which I have mixed opinions on, if I'm being honest. But let's just move over that for right now. The important part is that one of the things I learned in my brief looking into this issue is that there's one reason why a lot of people really love the UC quest arc. Can anybody guess it? No. I am actually going to go ahead and AFK briefly because I'm an idiot, and I have two empty containers which do not have any water in them, in a state of which I currently am, aka someone who desperately needs liquid in his diet. So I will be right back. I do apologize for my negligence. So, the answer is, of course, the flight simulator, the thing we're about to do. Here's the really funny thing. The reason why is because this game is badly designed. The flight simulator counts for piloting a spaceship, which means all of those achievements you need to level your stuff. Come on. Really? I can't open up my skill bar. I can't open up my skill bar.
Shutting down.
It will not let me open my skill bar in here. Ahem. All of these can be advanced in the flight simulator, which you can infinitely repeat forever. By contrast, if you decide to go and naturally raise certain things, like, for example, say, do X damage to enemy ships, or shoot X numbers of ships, then screw you, for lack of a better way to put it. Now, Colgrim says I could go do extremely boring procedural missions instead of the flight simulator, which is one of the most terrible ideas I've ever heard. I'm pretty sure that that's right up there with the idea of having someone who's over 80 years old running for president. That's just one of the worst ideas I've ever heard, Colgrim, which naturally proves that Colgrim himself is in fact 80 years old. So we need to make sure you get to bed on time, Colgrim, and we need to make sure that I'm being facetious. I apologize. I'm sorry, but I know I'm harsh on this game because this game is crap, but if the only real options for raising an effectively mandatory skill and or grinding is to go do procedurals, or go do what is effectively procedurals, which is the thing I was just mentioning, by the way, then what the crap is your gameplay? I'm sorry, if I have to pause playing your game and go run in a circle for however many hours in order to be able to progress in the manner that I would like to, what is the problem here? Alright, whatever, let's do this. Three hours! 3 hours! Oh my god, that's actually worse than I thought it was, Colgrim. I was being generous. I was thinking like an hour, you know, maybe on the high end.
Examination remains the same. Defeat as many tiers of opponents as you can before your ship is disabled. Defeat 3 tiers of opponents to complete the exam. Good hunting, applicant.
New targets active.
Yeah, no, exactly, Colgrim. Thank you for making my point for me so expertly. Have you heard me? Have you heard me talk about? Yes, Triaxia.
Progress recorded. Tier 1 reached. Initiating Tier 2.
Have you heard me talk about the exact moment I realized that I didn't like grinded video games? Real question, because this is there's a whole moment for me, historically speaking.
Target defeated. Target defeated.
All targets eliminated. Progress recorded. Tier
So,
2 reached. Initiating Tier 3.
I was playing an MMO, which is not a good game, called Asheron's Call. And I was grinding in, I'm almost positive it was Aphis Lacelle,
Targets active.
which is just mindlessly killing Tuskers over and over and over and over again. It is very, very good, very efficient experience, which is why it was designed that way. It was actually specifically designed to be the kind of thing you could just face mulch for a very long period of time. Excuse me. And while I was doing it, I had other stuff going on the side, because it was one of the first times in my life that I had a TV set up on the side.
Progress recorded.
I know that sounds weird, but like,
Congratulations, applicant.
up until that point in my life, I never had access or the luxury of being able to have like my computer plus my TV side by side like that. So I had my TV right there, and it was just so smooth, right? I was just like, oh yeah, this is great, and it's fun, and it's awesome, and I'm not worried about it all. And it took a while for that to process, I'm not going to lie. But it was such a night and day contrast to the usual grind that when it finally clicked with me, it was the exact moment I realized I wasn't enjoying playing the game. I was tolerating playing the game to get to something else, but I had stopped enjoying playing the game. And that was such a sea change for me, because I'd actually always been that way. I just never really properly processed the fact that I had been drinking sand. That is the exact moment I realized I did not enjoy grind in video games in general. And the exact moment which I realized that was the exact moment I realized that I could use that as a measuring stick from that point onwards. If I ever reach a point where I'd rather have a podcast up, or a YouTube video, or a movie, or a show, or another game up on the side while I'm playing the game in question, then something's wrong, my opinion. Something's wrong with the game in question.
You've defeated sufficient opponents to pass the exam. You may now exit the simulator through the hatch to record your current score, or stay and try your hand at the remaining tiers.
No, I don't care. No, get out of the...
Resuming the examination.
No, how do I get out of the chair? Oh, God. How do I get out of the chair? Thank you, Kamek. God, I'm an idiot today. Holy crap. Now I gotta kill this thing. Can you just... Yeah, we did it. We're stuck in the chair forever.
Target defeated.
All targets eliminated. Progress recorded.
There we
Tier
go.
4 reached. Initiating Tier 5.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good, thanks. Listen, I knew it, Colgrim. I knew it. Yeah, I'm good.
Shutting down.
Now, I should probably mention something, because I know this is going to sound shocking, but I'm not the arbiter of capital T truth in the universe. Honestly, that would kind of suck if that was true, but I'm not. I am both an individual with my own opinions, perspectives, and I have been wrong many times in my life. The reason I bring that up is because I am very firmly of the opinion that I just gave. If I have to have something else going on the side while I'm playing a game, something's wrong with the game. I stand by that opinion firmly. But that is just my opinion. I actually know several people personally who really, really enjoy... I knew you were going to say something, Gimmick. Who really, really enjoys doing this. My best friend Gary, for example. He loves playing Elite Dangerous, if you're familiar with that game. And when I say playing, I mean having a podcast up while he goes from point A to point B, functionally not actually playing the game. Now, to me, that's alien. To me, that's insane. To me, that's just like, oh, why even do that? Why not actually play a game that you enjoy rather than a screensaver while you're listening to the thing? But he enjoys that. Just like people enjoy coffee and just like people enjoy black licorice, I do understand that there are plenty of people who actually pretty much enjoy, sitting and just watching the game kind of do its own thing while they've got something else going on. Kelgrim mentioned something with HOI 4 earlier. Frankly, I run into that myself with EU4. Because whenever you're not at war in EU4, honestly, it's kind of dull. There's not a lot to do. It's actually my biggest complaint about the game. And something I'm trying to bring up if we ever review it. I get it. I am not trying to cast aspersions. I'm not trying to cast shade. I'm not trying to say that you're wrong. I'm not trying to say that there's anything invalid with that perspective. I'm not going to walk back my perspective, but we can both have different perspectives alongside each other and still understand and respect each other, right? So I absolutely cannot stand that kind of gameplay personally, but I get that other people do, and other people can, in fact, enjoy just kind of zoning out and doing something for a while. If nothing else, from a purely intellectual perspective, it makes sense, especially for if you have a particularly stressful job, for example. I do know another person, I'm not going to name names this time, who has a very stressful job, and it's one that engages her brain constantly. And so when she gets home, she doesn't want to use her brain at all. Now, she could go and watch mindless TV or mindless movies, but instead she sits down, she plays Skyrim. And when I say plays Skyrim, I mean wanders around, fighting things and looting things, and basically not really playing Skyrim. But that's fine, because that's all she needs. That's what she wants. She wants to be enough engaged so she's not a complete vegetable, while at the same time allowing her brain time to vent and disengage and de-gauze from the stress of the day. So...
Congratulations, applicant. You've passed. You can head up to Commander Tuwala to receive your final results and your probationary...
Because for me, now, so to try and get across, because I actually think, I could be wrong here, Kevin, but I think I get your perspective, as I feel like I just demonstrated. To get across my perspective, if I'm not doing something in a game, if I'm not consuming content, for lack of a better way to put it, I feel like not only is it something I'm not enjoying, but that I'm wasting my time. And so it's actually kind of a double whammy of negativity for me. Because on the one hand, I'm not doing something I enjoy, and on the other hand, I am actively wasting one of the most precious resources that exists, that I'm extremely aware of how finite it is, doing something that I don't enjoy. Like, obviously, I'm not a hedonist. I understand that, you know, you have to spend work and life doing work and life. But, when I sit down to play a video game, I want to play a video game, right? If I need to go and spend 3 hours working, then I'll spend 3 hours working. And that's just my...
If you don't have official business, we ask you remain in the lobby.
Terrible, terrible perspective on the matter.
Well, look who's back. Everything go all right with the exam? Or did you have some questions you needed answered first?
Yeah, I just wrapped it up. They told me to come back, yeah.
So these are your numbers that just came through then. You ready to hear how you did?
Yeah, I did terribly, I get it.
Then let's get to them. So, looking at the data, hit every mural in the orientation hall, huh? A test of preparation and thoroughness. 2 traits the Vanguard values highly. Psychological results are all within expected levels. Navy doesn't have room for folks that'll fall apart the first time they're trying to outrun a homing missile. Now, how'd you do against your foes? Tier 4, not too shabby. The techs make us test each level of the sim too. I can tell you that wave are some real artificial bastards. Good job putting them away. So then, looking at your results as a whole, and presuming you're successful in completing your probationary mission, you could have your UC citizenship after only 10 years service. Pretty standard for combat assignments. But your performance in the simulator does mean I can offer a signing bonus. Help convince you to join the cause. So, sounds to me like we've got Vanguard material on our hands. If you're interested, we could bring you on as a provisional member today. Get you the credits you've earned, then send you out on your probationary mission. First though, all UC service people, provisional or otherwise, are required to swear an oath. So, you want to make this official? Commit yourself to the cause of the colonies?
I hate to keep banging on this exact point. No, Eva, we don't actually need to grind. It was something that was suggested as a method to grind in order to gain access to better ships. Because, you know, the skill system. 10 years military service actually sounds kind of weirdly well thought out. But no, what I wanted to comment on very briefly is the game continues to have that vibe of being the barely thrown together frontier of towns that are post-apocalyptic. It's Fallout. It's Fallout. And I'm actually, the more I feel that, the more I do quests that lean that direction, the more I'm with that. I honestly wish that more of the game would lean in the idea that this is a barely functional society that is living in essentially a survivalist setup. Because, yeah, and I really, really wonder if at some point, I have no information on this at all, but I really wonder if at some point someone suggested that Starfield be a literal sequel to Fallout, that it be a follow-through after Fallout 4. I, again, have no idea on that, but it would be interesting to think about. Anyways, sorry, moving on. I'm ready, let's do it.
Fantastic. Then just follow me.
That's an interesting statement, Anditty. When you say side quest, though, do you mean a chain? Like part of a chain? Or a independent, what I usually call a secondary quest? True enough, Colgrim. Okay, could you go slightly faster, please?
Wouldn't be right doing this where we couldn't see the stars. Now, raise your right hand. The motto of the Vanguard is Supra et Ultra, above and beyond. That is where we serve, beyond the furthest reaches of the United Colonies military, and with honor and duty above reproach. Do you swear to protect and defend the citizens of the United Colonies to the best of your abilities? And to uphold the values of the Vanguard, honor, loyalty, self-reliance in all your actions as a member of the United Colonies Navy?
Yeah.
Then let me be the first to officially welcome you to the United Colonies Vanguard. Now, only thing left is getting you that probationary mission. And what I've got is comms repair. Group trying to refurb an old colony war processing plant on Tau Ceti 2. Sounds like they'd barely gotten set up when their communications died. Place is as isolated as they come, so Brass wants a Vanguard to deliver the repair suite and ensure anyone present is safe and secure. So, can the people of Tau Ceti 2 count on you?
Yeah.
That's the spirit. Head down to the spaceport and talk to Crew Chief Harath. He'll get you the repair suite plus your new recruit kit. Oh, and your advance. Give it your all out there. Supra et Ultra.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm probably biased here, but I'm already liking the vibe here. This reminds me a lot of the Minutemen in Fallout 4, which was actually a faction I rather enjoyed. Yeah, the voice acting has been extraordinarily inconsistent. Sometimes it's pretty legit. I did check. You can, in fact, join both on a single playthrough. Without having to do New Game Plus, to be very clear about that. But no, I totally get you, Kemek. And as an aside, I do... How do I explain this? I like to do multiple things at once, just as a personal policy. So I totally vibe with the idea of listen. Listening to something I enjoy, or watching something I enjoy, while playing something I enjoy. But I'm kind of a mutant freak there, in that I do actually want both things to be fully engaging, because, like I said, I'm a freak, so... Okay, it wants me to go off-planet, I think? Where are you sending me, game? Yeah, that's my ship over there. What is this nonsense? Is this... I think I'm talking to someone. It's kind of hard to tell. Yep, I am. They're there.
Shocked she managed to limp back here at all. Pull it for leeches, get it fixed up, and let her know we'll have it ready as soon as we can.
Ah, you are new probationary then? Crew Chief Harath, pleasure to be working with you.
It's my job to make sure all you rocket jockeys are ready for anything that comes at you up there. Now, Manifest says we're fitting you out with one comms repair suite.
In addition to the standard issue welcome kit all probationary pilots get for their first mission. Med packs, some small arms, couple spare ship parts, all the essentials in case of any surprises up there.
My people will have everything on your ship before you lift off. Won't even know they were there. So, paying a visit to the people of scenic Tau Ceti 2. Nice easy one for your first job. Just keep your head on swivel and you'll come home safe. Any questions before you head out?
No, actually.
Then I won't keep you.
Make us look good out there, recruit.
So, the fact that the factions don't really cross-connect doesn't bother me as much as it probably should. I'm probably just too used to it. Because it has been the norm for a very, very long time. And it allows them to do their own kind of self-connected bubbles. Probably my personal favorite example of the factions not cross-connecting, though, is Oblivion. My favorite of the various BRPGs. Because in Oblivion, you can get a quest as the Thieves Guild to go rob the Archmage of the Mages Guild. Which you can do after you have become the Archmage of the Mages Guild. And ironically, doing it that way makes the quest much, much easier.
Hey, what can I do for you?
You.
You should inspect your ship for heat leeches. Sure, have at it.
Okay. So hang on. So we currently have these things. What if? Hang on. Excuse me. Should get filter these a bit. This is when someone in chat's like, "Yeah, all you have to do is such and such." I mean, it makes sense, Kevin. It makes sense. Yeah, I don't think I have access to anything new here. Although, actually, do I have... Yeah, where are we at with that? No. Okay, we don't actually have access to Class B stuff yet. That's okay. Could be. Coming. Excuse me. Right, but I actually do want to do one other thing before we do this. There's actually something I'm meaning to do for a little bit here.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over here for a sec.
Hey, kind of breaking my concentration.
I don't think I saw the word Vanguard in there, but I could have just missed it. Research station. I thought I had... I guess not. Alright, hang on. Usually, there's a spot in the world where you can get crafting stations that is not on a ship.
Need some work done?
Is there a spot in the world
Okay.
where I can find a medical bay that I can craft medical stuff? And let's double check something here real quick. If you say my ship, I'm going to stab you, because then I have to go and grab some stuff. Yeah, do the grunt work quest. Okay, thank you, Kemek. Okay, so, but before we do that, let's pull up the amazing map here. Go here. Right, I know what you're talking about in the base. I actually forgot about that. I haven't been back here since I dropped off Sarah.
My, oh my, so this is Constellation.
Mom?
Now this is history. Would you look at this?
I assumed it was all right to let your parents
I
in
cannot
here,
wait to meet him.
but maybe they
It's
should
been ages since Constellation has had someone new. I wonder when
I've got
I'm planning a
lifetimes
grocery
worth of
run
books
later.
and
You're
videos to
welcome
occupy
anytime.
me. So
And
don't
I
worry
mean
about me.
anytime.
I hope you don't mind, but I figured the lodge was just a gnat stop away. I just had to see it.
Oh, this place is everything I imagined. Do you know I dreamt of joining Constellation when I was a girl?
I mean, it's a dream come true for me too, Mom.
Then you get that from me, dearest. But I'll let your father talk before he bursts.
I was playing poker with the Dean of Engineering, and he had this collectible revolver framed. And when he heard you were in Constellation, well, we worked together to get the piece clean and restored. She fires beautifully now. We, took turns sighting it at the range.
I swear, your father was acting like a school kid.
As I was saying, may I present to you Sir Malcolm Livingston's personal sidearm. All the special modifications just as he left him. He was chair of Constellation about 50 years ago. Anyway, it's yours.
Jesus Christ. You really shouldn't have.
It was a gift. The Dean and I go way back, and he's a bit of a fan of Constellation. So it was just a labor of love for both of us. Well, we'll let you get back to it, but Miss Noel said we could look around a little first.
Do it. Do it.
Miss Noel, would it be all right if I brought cookies next time?
Actually, Mr. Cookies. What type?
I make a mean snickerdoodle.
Yes, I think that would be quite all right.
Can I say that I just unironically love these two? I really hope the game isn't building up to them dying. I'm going to be actually upset if that happens. Just once. Just once. Let us have just some supportive parents. End statement, you know? Can we have that in gaming? That's so rare. It's so rare we just get that kind of unabashed wholesomeness. And they picked the perfect voice actors for this, too. Yeah, can we not have an Uncle Ben situation, please? So yeah, let's see the gun they just gave us. Hang on. Oh my god. It is a 45 cal. Not bad, actually. Tactical grab, armor-piercing rounds, and high-powered. Hey, Mr. Red. I was gonna say, this is so goddamn rare. Yeah, your mother in Pokemon. Not your father, who usually doesn't exist. Unless it's like Gen 3. No, your mother. Yeah, that's a crazy good gun, actually. And I also happen to be a fan of the styling. Okay, so I was just coming to make some meds, Mom. Jeez. Dad's like, hey. Okay, here we go. Pharmaceutical lab. What do we need? What do we need? I want to make healing items, and I can't. Okay. Okay. That's an interesting question, Mr. Red, which I'm going to defer. Let's see. Where's the... I'm blind. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Alright, pharmacology. I want to figure out how to make these things, which means I need more resources. Hello, Czar. Oh my god, sopapilla cheesecake sounds so good right now. I'm right at that point where eating is still difficult to do. But I'm starting to get hungry as my body is recognizing the fact that it's not in purge mode anymore. Yeah, that's not a great one. I've seen some fan ship designs in this game. That's not great. It's fine, Entity. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Or we'll die trying. Okay, so...
I get to stand near you, breathing the same air. I've got to have every molecule.
That's really gross. How... I'm just gonna ask chat if anybody knows, because I'm dumb. How do I get things like antimicrobials, and amino acids? Like, where do I procure that? I know where to get stuff like aluminum. I haven't really seen a chem vendor yet. Interim. It's warped to Tau Ceti. This is Tau Alpha 5. Oh, sorry. City Alpha 5. Sorry. Hey, Ross. I love the idea of them seeing me and being like, oh my god, what is that pea shooter? And then just bam, one shot. Oh, shit. So, you may or may not have ever heard me make the statement, Ross, that I anticipate Star Trek II will review better than Star Trek VI. I no longer think that's the case. Most of the minor dips in Star Trek VI's story are so minor that even upon reanalysis in mode, I don't even think they would be deserving of A negative.
Either I got hit harder than I thought, or you've got some incredible timing. Regardless, I think it knows you're here. I'll unlock the door. Second floor, main building. But be quiet.
So, terramorphs, right? Yeah, 6 actually went up for me. No joke. That's a lot of blood. Oh yeah, I want to show you something that I found really funny. Check this out. So, this is shoddy. It's a shotgun. Like, I'm probably not making my point clearly enough. This thing is a shotgun. Aha! I knew it, Entity. You know, I think I actually know the thing you're talking about now. We'll talk about that later.
So what do we got here? It's too clean to be one of the settlers. Or a pirate. You see on patrol, maybe? It'd make my day if you said you were a shock trooper out for a stroll.
Actually, I'm with the Vanguard.
Vanguard, huh? Yeah, I expect they didn't. I'm Hadrian. I was a researcher with the UC. I came here on a rumor of a... Well, I expect you saw the results on your way in. What's left of the settlers? The work of Oxysio Machina. A terramorph. One of the nastiest aliens humanity's ever crossed paths with. And this one, well, it's something of an anomaly. Possibly a worrying one.
Again, I'm not even making fun. They're death claws. They're death claws. So, what's a death claw? Terramorph.
Among apex predators, they're the pinnacle. Resilient, agile, smart. And their mental prowess only increases with age. Some can even dominate the minds of weaker species, keeping them as pets, livestock, or toys. They're creatures without peer.
So what kind of anomaly we talking?
Terramorphs have a unique growth cycle. They're usually only found on worlds that have been long colonized by humanity. But Tao said he's too young to have one. Yet here it is. I came looking for an explanation and found all this.
I'm sorry, is everyone dead?
I managed to scope out a fair bit of the facility before it found me. If there are any survivors of the attack, they're long gone.
So, maybe you could use my help?
I sure could. Because to confirm my suspicions about this creature, I'm gonna need a tissue sample from it. And to get that, I need its corpse. But there is a way we can give ourselves an edge against this thing. The plant's security system. The admin terminal's here in this building, but it needs its connection reset. And as I found out, that's not a one-person job. But if you can make it to the security outpost and restore the connection, I think I can get things back online. See if the settlers left us any other tools.
Where can I find the outpost?
It's the building in the middle of the facility. The terminal in there should allow you to grant me access to the system as a whole. Then we can see about getting things back online.
Let's do it.
Good. Once I see the connection reset, I'll get things underway on my end. Take care of yourself out there. And make sure you leave enough of that thing for us to get a sample.
No promises. Yeah, I'm already liking this better than the so-called best chain in the game, by the way. I'm trying really hard not to lean on that too much for fear of cursing it. Yeah, several... What the hell? Several sources online all listed the Crimson Fleet as the best chain in the game. And I do not agree at all. Well, let me walk that back for a second. I don't agree that it was good. I didn't like that chain at all.
And
Even that's not quite true. I didn't like the overall chain. There were individual moments I liked.
sandwich. Well, that you so wouldn't need the sandwich.
I mean, first of all, one of the things that this team has always been pretty good about is... People hate this one? Okay. One of the things this team is good about is horror. I actually really enjoy the kind of quiet horror and the different flavors of horror that they usually put into the Fallout game specifically. So I'm actually kind of with it when you show up and it's like, all right, we got a completely routine mission. It's just a milk run, right? We got a routine mission. You got to go and fix a comm satellite, and this is literally just our. That's a good point, Colgrim. This is literally just our intro mission. This is just us getting our feet wet. And we show up and it's like, hey, all right, cool. Did you hear a scream? And then we come in. Yeah, exactly, Zara. Then we come in, and there's the woman there, and she's like, yeah, and as we're walking in, the place is just shreked. There's dead bodies everywhere. There's giant claw marks. There's blood, and it's like. And then she talks about a terramorph. Dialogue wasn't good. I'm not gonna lie about that. But at the same time, it's like, okay, so there's a terramorph here, and the game makes it clear that one terramorph was enough to kill everybody here. And the game then gives us an objective to try and tilt the scales so that rather than just go kill the super boss, instead it's more like go kill the super boss with some help. Even from a gameplay element, that actually makes a degree of sense. It's a good way to ease the player into fighting something that's above their pay grade. Now, hypothetically, because we could do this quest like right out of the gate, right? So, okay. I'm kind of with all this. Go ahead and reset.
Connection restored. I'll make this quick. Plant's turrets took a beating, but I should be able to get you a couple of kill lanes. Just get the thing to chase you down the alleys between the buildings, and you'll lead it right into a crossfire. Oh, hello? Wish I'd found this earlier. You notice those sensors around the facility? Part of a livestock tracking system. Should let you keep tabs on how close the terramorph is. But it's not connected to this network. There should be a terminal in the adjoining room. Tune it to 183.5. Tracker's reading green, and... What's that sound?
The security lockdown is active.
Shit. Stop. Stop whatever you're doing and get in cover. It's on the move. Look, I wouldn't engage directly if you can avoid it. The kill lanes, they're set up but need power. There's breakers on each of the buildings you can throw to get them live. Once they're online, lead the terramorph towards the lights and watch the fireworks. Give it hell, Vanguard.
You notice that's an optional objective. We can just go ahead and kill the sucker if we want to. This is good. This is good quest design. Holy crap. I am shocked. Shocked, one might say. Also, did you notice that little cutscene that played there? We see this giant creature emerge from the dirt and the earth, and it's like, wah ha ha, and it gives this big roar. And then the terramorph shows up and kills that thing in a couple of seconds. Just boom, like that. Thank you for the bits. Nexus Shadows 575. I don't suppose you, know this. Oh, Jesus. Ooh. But if you want to put that towards increasing the priority, future streams, you can do so, up to 3. Either way, thank you for the support. So, we even got a distance to target thing, just updating in the upper right. So let's try to fight the thing directly, shall we? Just to see. We have a good set of armor and a good gun. We're not low level. I even love that the distance to target is scripted rather than an actual meter. So you have to wait for updates. That's a great way to ramp up tension. So we're actually getting further away now. When I say level, I mean the things that give our overall relative power output. I have no idea what level we are, and I don't care. It's getting closer. That's getting further away again. Where is this damn thing? There you are. Boy's got some health. Holy crap.
System rearm. Fail. Additional power required.
Notice it's not completely sees you and it instantly kills you, which would also be bad game design. If this was a binary state thing where it's like, oh, it spotted you, you're dead, that would just get frustrating. Instead, we have the opportunity to flee. Hello, Game Geek.
Additional power input required.
Well, just to test it, because I'm not sure I believe y'all lying to me about this. Think you're lying to me. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please don't kill me. Okay. That's the thing that happened. Why? Why? Okay, fine. Hang on, hang on. Yeah, he's got some health. We know how much damage this gun does. Holy crap. Pretty much emptied that gun getting him down. Jesus. Proving we don't need the turrets, though. Hey, antimicrobials. Nice. I think you're right, Wolfenstein. So, which perks boost the laser cutter? Particle beams, maybe? Lasers, apparently. Well, sure. Why not? Oh. I'll have to start killing people with this thing to start raising that perk level. That was fun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Kamek, please don't kill me. I'm actually kind of in shock. This is a good mission. Like, this is night and day compared to the Crimson Fleet crap. So I can't aim. Like, I'm right-clicking and nothing's happening. So... yeah, honestly, ditto on Falkenstein. I don't get it. I got nothing. Oh, I see it. Okay. Wow, god damn, that feedback, or lack thereof. We're in Prime Opt right now, Lord Hermod. This is the Vanguard chain.
Trekker's gone quiet. I suspect it's either hiding or...
And I just plop the corpse here.
You did it, didn't you? Heavens above! You just flatlined a terramorph!
Yeah. All taken care of.
Oh, yeah. Taken care of. No big deal. You didn't happen to grab me a tissue sample, did you?
Actually, I did.
All right. I spotted a microscope downstairs. Let's see if we can't get to the bottom of this.
Hey, TSB. Or bye, TSB, I guess is this the case here. I hope you're enjoying it, Yura. Listen, hurry up or I'm going to burn you to death. I agree with you. I agreed? Agree? I guess present tense is valid. With you on that, Kemek. You'll notice, by the way, the log on the liner ship once again ties into the same general thing they're doing here. That kind of atmospheric thing that, honestly, Bethesda's been pretty good at for a long time. Like, someone mentioned this earlier. I love the Ant Quest in Fallout 3. I know there's technically 2, but you know the one I'm talking about. I love so many of the areas you can go into in Fallout 3, and it's just like, what the hell happened here? And the vaults, oh my god, the vaults.
The older model. Alright, let's see what you can do. Running basic diagnostics? Nothing. Maybe a flag scan? No. Spectrograph. Damn.
What you got for me?
Equipment? It's not set up to do a proper analysis of our sample. But this terramorph being here, of all places, it doesn't make sense. Humanity's spread plenty of creatures in our travels across the stars. Pets, livestock, pests. But terramorphs? They're different. To our knowledge, no one's ever spread them intentionally. Yet somehow, they follow us. So when humans settle a world, 70 to 100 years later, terramorphs tend to just appear. But no one knows how or why. Dangerous, but at least predictable. Talseti, though, it's too young to have a native population. It's only been colonized 20 years? But then the other option, that someone captured one of the deadliest predators in the galaxy just to wipe out some settlers minding their own business? That seems awfully implausible. Which means we're either looking at a truly strange murder or a faster type of terramorph growth, the results of which could be catastrophic. Terramorph outbreaks have taken down far bigger colonies than this one.
How does no one know how terramorphs get into human worlds? They're kind of hard to miss.
Well, they're not exactly buying tickets and flying coach. The theory is that they're spread by some kind of egg or seed that's able to evade our detection. But how the hell an undetectable egg turns into a terramorph without anyone noticing is a question no one's ever found an answer to. And it's why what's happened here could be real bad news for the rest of human civilization.
Okay, so I have a theory of how the terramorphs are spreading. The whole game, one of the most common things they keep talking about is heat leeches, I think is what they're called. And how they're treated like rats. The way they're being Jesus Christ, Lord, written in dialogue is that heat leeches are things that you can't avoid. They just get on board the ship, and you get them purged, and then they get on board a ship, and you get them purged, and they're voles for Deep Space Nine, right? And yeah, we've met a few, and we've killed a few. What do you want to bet those eventually turn into terramorphs further down the line, which would also explain why they show up several years after people show up on a specific planet? That, people bring the leeches turn into terramorphs, and then death. Now, the problem with that is everything. How exactly does nobody know that? How has nobody ever observed or perceived that up until now? Which would make sense if this was a Wild West, survivalist, post-apocalyptic society, which I'm never going to apparently be rid of that.
There is. There has to be. We just have to find it. Time was, I had access to one of the best repositories of terramorph research in the galaxy. Seems a natural place to start looking, if I can figure how to access it. But we also need to get this sample properly analyzed, get confirmation on just how concerned we should be. Luckily, I think I know just the person to help with the sample. What would you say to delivering this to him for me? I'd do it myself, but I need to call in some favors. See if I can't get access to that terramorph data. Plus, maybe just pop by a hospital for a little bit. Clear it with your commander first if you have to. You can even show them this. My gene tag. Tell them Hadrian Sanan is worried there could be more attacks on the horizon. They should recognize the name.
Sure.
Oh, you don't understand what a weight off my shoulders that is. I need Dr. Percival Walker to put together a sample analysis for this thing. Full workup. He'll know what that means. I'm not sure exactly where to find him, but last I heard he was contracting with the Trade Authority on Mars. There's a place called the Sixth Circle in Sidonia. Bar run by some old friends. I'll meet you and Percival there. And here. It's not exactly a bounty, but you certainly deserve them. Should cover the cost of fuel to Mars, at least. Now please, go check in with your commander. We need to know what we're dealing with.
And yeah, I would bet money that the reason they're called terramorphs is because the aliens are called xenomorphs. It's almost assuredly an homage. I don't actually remember why they're called xenomorphs. It's been a while since I've studied the Alien series. I've covered Aliens 1 and 2, and I don't remember. I apologize.
There's only one thing this city is missing. And that's a statue of you, greeting people as they enter the spaceport.
No statues. I still haven't stopped hearing new lines from the adoring fan. No joke. He occasionally says something new.
Look who's back. All set with that probationary mission? We can do your debrief and formally welcome you into the Vanguard whenever you're ready.
Oh God, Kamek. I need your permission to deliver a terramorph tissue sample to Mars.
A terror? What? How did you walk away with the terramorph tissue sample running comms repairs? What happened to the settlers?
Yeah. The only person who was alive was a researcher who gave me the sample. Or no, let's go. There were no survivors, sir. All were lost to a terramorph, which I killed.
You killed a terramorph on your first mission. If I could be frank for a moment, holy shit. Above and beyond doesn't really begin to describe it now, does it?
And again, this would irritate me because I hate it when games blow smoke up my ass. But this would irritate me, except the mission earned it. Remember, we had a whole gameplay mechanism, which I'm currently giving a gameplay positive towards, but to explain how we could kill this stupid thing. Now, we could kill it legit, but the game earns killing it. The game earns the fact that we used the facility and lured it through turret lines and it fired up the things, all the things, in order to bring down this thing that was clearly above our pay grade. So I'm with it. If this was... Because bad games will do this thing where they'll be like, all right, and I can actually name a game off the top of my head. Bad games will do this thing where it's like, all right, it's your first mission. And it's time to go ahead and do your first mission. And oh my God, it's the Borg! You have to defeat the Borg on your tutorial mission. Oh my God, you defeated the Borg. You're so incredible and amazing. And I'm just sitting here going, bull crap! I'm level 5 in a Miranda. Yes, I'm referring to STO, by the way. You don't do that, games. I hate it when games do that. I hate it when games throw you up against something you really, really should not have any chance whatsoever of fighting. And then you just kind of take it down. And everyone's like, oh my God, you're the chosen one. And then they blow smoke on my ass. Instead, this mission earned it and built up to they built up to it properly. They executed properly. They paid off it properly. They earned the goddamn reaction. So credit where credit is due. What other games do that? Of course, now you put me on the spot, Mike Tomato. Railway Empire. At the very beginning of Railway Empire, right at the first thing, we have to pick up 2 trains and, like, use them as nunchucks in order to fight a giant kaiju. And it's like, no, come on, don't open the first mission of Railway Empire with that.
Earned yourself some serious hazard pay on this one. But, if none of the settlers made it, who's got you delivering the sample?
There was a researcher who was investigating, gave me this gene tag to show you.
A researcher? Let me see that. Sanan. I know that name. Let me check the database. A lot of this data's been classified. Here we go. Service record. Wow. That's a lot of commendations. Seems like she served with distinction as co-head of a UC Xenoweapons division. Faced tribunal at the end of the Colony War. And was dismissed from duty. Guess that's why I'd heard the name before. If she's former Xeno warfare, though, well, we can at least be sure she knows her aliens.
I mean, taste of power is different than Earth. You are correct, of course. There are ways to make that kind of a thing make sense. But that's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about the thing... The problem is, most of the games I could name that do that are games you've never heard of because they're Korean MMOs or they're trash MMOs. And yeah, it's almost always MMOs that do this. It's the very first quest you do, and you go on, it's like, I will defeat the great enemy lord Darth Doom Death Destructo. And you're like, Pwah, pwah, pwah. And Darth Destructo's like, oh, you have killed me. And then you're like, yes, I am super amazingly the chosen one. And then you go out and then you kill rats. Like, it's actually the most common format for percentage-wise most MMOs. Most of the big MMOs do not make this mistake because most of the big MMOs are not trash. So, this sounds a little urgent.
Certainly seems that way. Did your survivor, Hadrian, did she mention why she thinks this sample's so special?
Yeah, she wants a Dr. Walker to confirm that it's a threat.
I see. Well, this is one of the more surprising debriefs I've ever been a part of. But if Hadrian Sinon thinks this sample needs to get to Mars, then we're gonna make sure it gets to Mars. I'll take care of the clearances and ensure you get your credits. Consider these your first official orders. And here, so everyone knows you're working with the Vanguard. Welcome to the Navy, Captain. Vanguard's also got some custom ship modifications. You'll be cleared for access to them next time you're down at the spaceport. Talk to ship services. Now, if there wasn't anything else, I suggest you move out.
That's funny, Spartan. So what do I think of the perk system so far?
Nice ride.
I think with a proper respec system, I would legitimately enjoy the perk system. As is, I don't. And I've just been, you may or may not notice, I've just been sitting on my perks. Of course, I only have one at the moment. And, not really doing anything with them. Because not a huge fan. Anyways, moving on. So now, we should be able to go to the, I guess here. Oh, and Mike Romano asked, jokingly, is so STO is modeled after Korean MMO? I'm sure you meant that as a joke, but if you've looked into the backstory and history of Cryptic and their Nexon and the original creators of STO, then yes is the answer to that question. And yeah, I have failed. I cannot pay off my mortgage. I'm physically incapable of paying off my mortgage because the guy who I can pay my mortgage off to refuses to talk to me other than to give me a new quest.
Got anything you need some work done? Sure, have at it.
So I'm just eternally in debt unless I do his quests. Alright, so let's check these new things out. What do we got? Hey, here we go. Vanguard Missile Launcher. Vanguard Hellfire. Vanguard L-Death. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Vanguard Ares Particle Cannon. Which we can use? Do we have access to C's? Let's find out. No, we do not. Yeah, okay. Hello. No, I know, Winlock. Cryptic has been dying for a while now, so it's just whatever. Just gonna let that go. Oh my god, we're going back to Mars. Yeah. Shut up. It's a debt collection chain, Kamek. You go and you play a loan shark, essentially.
Annoyed if I watched them work? As a tourist, I want to get the full Sidonia experience.
Yeah, I don't understand your questions, Actaft. I'm sorry. Like, what's the strange thing being stated there?
Oh, hi there.
Listen, I love breaking kneecaps as much as the next person.
Yo, hey.
What's up? You looking to do some shopping here at the Trade Authority?
Yeah.
I'm Minaki. Feel free to ask me anything and I'll do my best to help you out.
What's the strangest thing you've seen come through here?
Yo! This dude came in once trying to sell this whack-looking fish or something. It was still alive. He had it in this big plastic bag full of water and everything. Good size, too. I was trying to tell him I didn't know if we took in things like that, but then my boss came over and told me we absolutely did. And I had to process the sale and store the thing. Man, what a pain in the ass that was. Even weirder, someone came in and bought it like right away. The hell's that about, right?
Cool. I'm looking to make a trade.
Cool. That's what we do here.
Yeah, alright.
Yo, stay good out there.
Yeah, so I apparently misread the marker there. That's on me. I don't understand the question, Desperado Joe. He's hilarious, and he's awesome. He's also got the weightlifting perk, and he's decent in a firefight. So
It's hard not to worry when you're
he's objectively useful, and he's amusing.
down in the mines.
God, seriously. Be good. Okay, so hang on. It's the Vanguard Obliterator Auto Projector. Someone help me remember that, because I'm not going to remember that.
Invoices can be collected from the... Oh. Not here for a delivery, are you?
Yeah, I'm told a man named Walker. I'm the runner.
Do you now? Well, I do wish I could help you, Captain, but Dr. Walker has been missing for some time.
A shame, too. We had such high hopes for Percival. I brought him on myself to do medical and biological consulting around the city. Not the sort of work the Trade Authority traditionally does. But we thought it had the potential to become a whole new type of revenue stream for our branch. I invested no small amount of personal capital into the endeavor. But then he decided to run off after a discipline issue. I presume the miners have him hidden somewhere. Plenty of cracks on this old rock. But at this point, it's probably for the best.
You want me to track him down? Hang on, why are the miners hiding him?
They were all devils. Red Devils. A UC Marine unit based here on Mars, though they were disbanded shortly after the Colony War. I presume a number of them served alongside Dr. Walker. Bonds forged in battle and all that.
So what kind of discipline issues are we talking here?
Dr. Walker decided to start brewing and selling his own pharmaceuticals to our customers below cost. Something his contract expressly forbade. As such, we requested our cut of the profits and began garnishing his salary. Perhaps a little too severely, but well within legal limits. It was around then that he ran off, abandoning his duty and his unpaid accounts.
I can track him down.
That won't be necessary. The Trade Authority isn't interested in employing someone so unreliable. But we would like the money he owes us. If you can convince him to pay his debts, we'd be most grateful.
Right. Tell me where he was last seen. I'll see what I can do.
Wonderful. I suggest paying a visit to the Sixth Circle, what I suppose is technically a bar on the lowest level of the city. If anyone knows where Percival is, the miscreants there would. But I would urge caution. They're not a group known for their hospitality.
It's okay, I have a mining laser.
Sidonia City Security is here to keep you safe. If you see something suspicious, please don't hesitate to report it to any security officer.
I mean, we could probably join the Trade Authority.
Sidonia can have a depressing effect on some people.
Broken Spear's upstairs. Go drown yourself there. This bar's for Devil's Vets and their kin.
Easy now. Adrian Sandin sent me. I'm looking for a man named Walker.
Doc Walker? Well, you're barking up the wrong
Andy, you. Why don't you come here and tell me what some stray wants with Walker?
Sure thing, Gideon Emery.
Not every day a stray topsider wanders into my bar claiming they know people. What do you want with Dr. Walker?
I'm making delivery for Agent Shannon. I even have proof.
That's so. Now, if that tag's a forgery, it's a damn good one. All right. Maybe she did send you. Or maybe you just know where to buy your fakes. But look, even if I decided I was going to help you get in contact with Dr. Walker, Percival made himself scarce for a reason. His debt to the Trade Authority. But if someone resolved that debt, well, Percival wouldn't have to hide anymore. Can bet that person would make a friend out of Percival, and the rest of us devils. And I'm always inclined to help a friend.
The number of quests in this game that I can just pay off is kind of strange.
That's good to hear. Now, you want my opinion? Most straightforward way to take care of this debt would be to just saunter up to the Authority and pay him direct, if you've got credits to throw away. Of course, rumor is the Trade Authority keeps all their records and collections files on a central server inside their storeroom. If someone was to break in there and adjust Percival's debt to something a little more reasonable, say a few hundred credits, I'd be happy to cover the costs. But one friend of Hadrian's to another, Sidonia's full of old utility spaces. Wouldn't be surprised if there was one that let out right into the Authority storeroom. Say, with an entrance behind the bar at the Broken Spear. Ooh, and you might need these. Now, what say you get out there and help Dr. Walker?
Sure thing. I will always...
Maybe Hadrian's friend. Come here.
What?
Heard you talking with Lou, so you're going to help Dr. Walker?
Yeah.
Oh, good, good. Percival's a good guy. Listen, I know how you can do it without having to resort to any B&E. Aqueous hematite. Mars is full of it. People think it's just garbage, but Percival and I, we've been working on some projects in the deep mines. At least when he wasn't slaving away at his Trade Authority contract. But we stumbled on a way to make it useful and profitable. You give our research over to Octai at the Trade Authority, it should more than cover Percival's debt. That guy's always looking for an angle.
So why haven't you done this yourself?
Well, yeah. We were never able to finish the research. Spacers moved in and ran us out. Started setting up shop. But if you can clear them out, I can walk you through how to finish the research. Then you can give it over to the Trade Authority. They'll get folks working in the deep mines again. Jobs come back, I become a modern-day folk hero. Then I don't have to sleep on an inflated spacesuit anymore.
It's an awful lot of work to avoid buying a pillow, but sure, I'll help you.
Great, great. So access to the deep mines can be found outside the city. It's not far. Shouldn't even need to hop back in your ship. We'd set up right near the main drill. Taking out the spacer leader should get the message across to the rest of them to buzz off. Once you've managed that, phone up here on the comms panel, and I can walk you through finishing the research.
Okay. So, continuing to impress me with these quests, by the way. That is 3 distinct methods the game has given us in order to progress through this. We can just sneak in, and we know stealth is not working correctly, so, you know. But we can sneak in, we can just pay it off, or we can do the side quest.
Crime's at an all-time low around Sidonia.
I'm with it. You know, that could be Brickwood. It is very brown, Spartan. It's very brown. Unlike Fallout 3, which is very green. Hey, right, Ting. You know, that's what it feels like so far, Greyhead 7. Yeah, you'll notice I'm not doing that, Meat Fist. I could, if I was particularly unpleasanted by the quest chain, but since I'm actually having some degree of enjoyability, I'd like to actually do the quest, so do the quest I am. Now, this does involve a bit of a trip, but, you know, that's whatever. Make sure we got the right weapon. Yep, okay, cool. I was about to say, if we can see an Earthrise from Mars, something is extremely wrong. You ever heard of the Roach limit? I think we have, Loke. I think we have finally found some honest-to-God good quests. Yeah, this long run is not exactly fun, but, you know, it's whatever. Imagine if we had a vehicle. Or like a proper jetpack. Or... God, I don't know. Or a mech. Yeah, or a frickin' mech. Kong, Kong, Kong. No, look, I have a jetpack. See, wee, that totally counts as a jetpack. Definitely. Alright, let's murder a bunch of people.
Oh! Go all out! Moving!
I love how this guy's actual title, his name, is Spacer Scum.
Oh, it hurts! It hurts!
You rebel scum. This game has yet to crash on me. Unlike Fallout 4, which crashed like 4 times in a row. Sorry to keep pointing that out, but it really, really irritated me that I couldn't even do basic gameplay tests in Fallout 4 because the game was that crash happy. That's going to be a thing to solve someday when we get to streaming that, if we ever stream Fallout 4. No, I never bothered to find out why. This is being done during my lunch break, in in the point of time which I would have been eating food. So I wasn't really in a huge hurry to do anything other than bare minimum. Look, it's a vault, or I mean, look, it's Fallout. It's Fallout. I get it. We're playing Fallout. I don't even mind. We're just playing Fallout. I'm okay with it. Just let me be Fallout. Listen, no game is superior to Starfield. None. Baldur's Gate 3 wishes it was Starfield. I think Tinykin is our best reviewing game so far this year. Can someone track me on that, please? On the mythical website that may or may not exist.
This is really quite excessive. Give me
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5 actually stole all its dialogue from Starfield. Aren't you just spacers? Of course I know what I'm up against. I've killed like 100 of you people.
Fire! Fire! Nobody's gonna miss you. Enjoy this.
Yeah, the whole reason Cyberpunk 2.0 came out was because of Starfield. I'm done. I was just thinking, Kamek, how much I have to not loot in here, because there's a crap ton of loot I'm just leaving on the ground. Because, yeah, it's just gonna burden the hell out of me.
Not like this.
Is it really? Wow, Russ. What are the other ones, if you don't mind my sharing? Or, sorry. Don't mind my asking, don't mind you sharing. That's what I thought, Game Geek. Thank you for checking. Jesus, Kamek. Yeah, my cargo on my ship is actually pretty lacking, so I'm trying to hold back a bit. I don't know, Gray. It's definitely a gun that doesn't run out of ammo, so that's already awesome. Yeah, Psychonauts doesn't surprise me. God of War is a little surprising, but only a little. Hey, look, it's definitely not terramorph. I'm probably wrong. I'm probably just completely barking up the wrong tree on that one. Excuse me. Oh, hey, it's someone from the Punk family. StarCraft 1 to StarCraft 2 feels like it's not really in the the spirit of that metric, you know. No. Okay, I'll let it go. There's a bunch of it down here. And now they're playing just Star Trek 6 again. Negosha.
I feel like we're being watched to kill. No, okay, move back.
Oh shoot, it's another scum. We found Scum's brother.
This.
Excuse me.
You should be the one dying.
Knew it, I'm surrounded by scum. Keep firing, scum.
It does run wild.
Oh yeah, Rebel Scum is kind of the granddaddy of all of this. Oh, I guess. Okay. Holy crap, okay.
You think that hurt? Just need it.
It's a Winnebago. Excuse me. Ha! It's another cutter. Yay. Blocked by needing chemistry. That's just like in real life. Excuse me. Well, I do want to be able to craft my own med packs at some point, so... Where is our chemistry? Way down there. Holy crap. That's impressive considering Devil May Cry 1 didn't exactly score well.
Hello? Oh, took care of the spacers, huh? Oh, good. Now to finish off the research, you're gonna need to collect a sample of hematite to run through the thresher. Grab a laser cutter and head back to the chamber where you came in. Once you've got a sample, Thresher's the big machine in the next room. Passcode to start it is Ares 2330. Take care of all that, and we'll have Percival's name cleared in no time.
Okay. One moment, please. I mean, Devil May Cry 2 is still the second worst game I've ever reviewed, and that's impressive. Oh, now I... Okay. There we go. What is this, FF14? God. I mean, speaking as someone who legitimately enjoys Mega Man X6, despite the fact that it's a crap game, yeah, I'm never replaying X7. Screw X7. X6 is, if nothing else, still a frickin' Mega Man game. I don't even know what X7 was. So what is this? Uses rivet ammo. Huh, it's a charge release. Okay. Go back to the cutter.
Password accepted. Initiating analysis. Compound analysis complete. Adding to existing notation. Collating. Process complete. You may collect your documentation.
I'm doing an oral history of Constellation's most decorated members. It's just me repeating your name into a data slate for 5 hours.
That sounds so terrible. Excuse me. But yes, Mega Man X8 is a superior game to Mega Man X7, but I mean, not really a high bar. I will say several people I know, including me, overpraise X8 for being better than X7. But X8 isn't really all that great of a game in its own right, so...
Ever been to Aquila? Those security units.
Yeah, I don't know, Saber for Wife. I don't think this game could pass BOF 2, but we'll see. We've still got the rest of this chain, the Ryujin chain, and the Freestar chain, and then we'll start hitting the MSQ.
How's it going? Can I help you?
But, oh, this is the... hold on, what? No, they just bounce all over the place, Lunaruth. Like, it's not like it's like good, bad, good, bad. Especially since the classic Mega Mans. Like, here, let's hit the stream breaks. Lunaruth loves for me to hit the stream breaks. I think it's what she, you know, uses to get going in the morning. So we look at the classic Mega Mans, right? So we go from a 6 to an 82 to a 77 to 104 to 163 to 121 to 66 to 92 to 38 to 102 to 262. All of that is classic Mega Man linearly. Now the X series is a little bit different because the X series starts off with 180 then plummets down to 80, then down to 22, back up to 68, down to 60, down to negative 48, down to negative 262, and then back up to 48. So that's absolutely all over the place. Okay. It actually kind of depends, Blade Jamal. But a long game with low negative density is going to score less bad than a more densely negative game, if I'm saying that correctly. Do you seriously? You want me to go back? Okay. Did I miss something completely? Oh, God, I hate everything. The Zero and ZX games, well, hang on, let's pull back the website. Hit the stream breaks again. Those went from 5 to 35 to 63 to 68 to 60 to 34. So yeah, pretty average overall. And yeah, I don't think this is Skyrim in space. The finger I'm putting this most clearly on is this is Fallout in space. Although, actually, I'm going to disagree with that, because there's not really a space element of this game. Not really. It's just Fallout. And that's fine. Again, it's not a negative, it's not a complaint, it's just Fallout. I honestly kind of wonder what this would be like if they just called it Fallout. No, because I'd still have to alt-tab to do it, Linearuth. Like, having an additional monitor doesn't give me a second mouse and a third hand to be able to go interact with the website. So, I'm going to assume, based on your question, Game Geek, that you're not familiar with how MMOs work, okay? So forgive me if I sound like I'm talking down to you. But MMOs, an expansion comes out, and there's a lot of content with the expansion. We call that launch content. Then, there's usually several patches. How many patches varies, but each of those patches adds additional content, additional stuff to do in the game. Then, once all the patches are done, there's usually a period of acclimation patches leading up to the launch of the next expansion. Make sense? So, we've already reviewed FF14 up to Endwalker, but that was Endwalker at launch. So we did the Endwalker launch content. Now we have all of the patch content from Endwalker to push through. That's Patchwalker. That's the format for MMOs going forwards, and Guild Wars 2, FF14, and WoW will eventually all be on that cycle where we will cover an expansion, and then we'll cover the patches, and then we'll cover an expansion, and then we'll cover the patches. So I don't like horror games, Miranda SC. I know that we use the word horror to mean two completely different things, but a game that is a horror game is not a game that is for me in general. So my answer is null. I don't have a favorite horror game. What about you guys in chat?
All set? Good. You can take the elevator in that room back to the surface. There should be a key stashed in the Thresher room, if the spacers didn't make off with it. I'll be waiting at the circle.
No, Silent Hill 2 is actually a horror game. Full tilt. Favorite hard game. Off the top of my head, Mega Man 5, Cyber Shadow. I'm going to go with Jedi Fallen Order. Is a really, really good game on hard difficulty, or hardest difficulty. I'm also going to add Dishonored 2 to that list, which sounds like a really strange statement. But Dishonored 2 has some really, really good difficulty design, which makes its difficulty really enjoyable. I think that's a good enough list. I actually haven't played those games, Chemix, so I don't know. Really, Plutonia? Oh yeah, thank you, Baron. StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2 Brutal and Brutal Plus and Brutal Plus Plus and Brutal Plus Plus with mutators is awesome. I love StarCraft 2's difficulty. That might actually be my one pick. I didn't even think about that.
Almost break time.
But yeah, one of these days I'm going to solidify a terminology for this. I'm not a big fan of horror, but I like horrifying things. I like horror elements, right? The simplest way to explain is by an example. I don't like Dead Space 1, I like Metroid.
You've got the slate. Let me see. Reduced joint wear? Oh, increased lifting capacity. A dose of this stuff could make a miner way more efficient. This formula's got to be worth at least as much as whatever Percival owes. Okay, so here's what you do. Tell Octai and the Trade Authority you found a business proposal that will make miners more efficient, higher yield, synergy, you know, all that business crap. And that you'll trade it to him for clearing Percival's debt.
God damn it.
You good at doing pitches and stuff like that?
You don't want to ask for money?
You can try if you feel confident, but I didn't want to push our luck. Besides, if that drug gets big, I think everyone benefits. So, you think you can sell him on it?
Sure.
Oh, this is gonna be great. Oh, and here, a copy of the formula for yourself, in case you ever want to try maximizing your own industrial output. Oh, use that if you can. Good luck.
Anyways, so I enjoy Resident Evil 2R and Resident Evil 4 for basically the same reason. Because I have a hard time calling either of them horror games. You know? But yeah, that sucks, sis, if you can even hear me, which you cannot, of course.
In other news.
The distinction, most horror, when you just call something a horror game or a horror movie or whatever, is it's focusing on specific elements of presentation. It usually leans very heavily on despair, is an emotion it tries to evoke. It leans very heavily on gore, and it usually leans very heavily on trying to be, I guess, shocking is the word I would want to use there. And I don't enjoy any of those three things I just mentioned. By contrast, dread is something I enjoy a great deal when done properly. In fact, I've been talking about it in this very game. The quest we just did, the first really good quest in the game, was awesome. We show up, let's, for those of you who didn't see it, we show up on a routine mission to go fix some freaking radio transmitter. We land and we hear a scream in the distance. On approach, there's nobody moving and there's nothing happening. There's corpses splayed out on the area. There are claw marks. There's blood. We have shown up after the inciting incident, and it's just like, okay. And that is the kind of thing I dig. And again, going back to the Fallout thing, it's one of the things I like about the Fallout games, is that idea of dread. It's what I like about the Metroid games. When you can walk into a room and you see this glass container on the ground, which is shattered. That's it. That's all it is. But the implication is there, and you know exactly what that means and exactly how terrifying that is. And yeah, dread. I think I'm going to start trying to use that word. Dread is what I enjoy, not horror. So, for example, something like Resident Evil, that's neither dread nor horror. That's hilarious. Resident Evil is schlock in a good way. Resident Evil is the Fast and the Furious of horror games, and it's awesome. Which is only part, of why I didn't like Resident Evil 3 or Resident Evil 3R. Now, there's other reasons, and I'm not going to go into that, but you get the point. Resident Evil can pull off dread. That's true. I agree with that. Resident Evil can also lean into horror. It kind of depends on the individual entry. But yeah, exactly. I couldn't stand Fran Bow. The one and only instance of a black licorice game we've ever reviewed. Because that was just... oh. That's the kind of game I have actually warned people to not play. Because of how much that can affect you. But yeah, Dead Space 1R. I anticipate we'll review quite well. I don't think I'm going to like it, but I anticipate it is absolutely going to review quite well. Because I can still acknowledge the quality of such a thing. After all, I've done an analysis on Alien, the first movie. And Alien is absolutely a horror film. It's a really, really good one. It's probably one of the best horror films I've ever had the enjoyability of actually analyzing. But the film I actually enjoy is Aliens, which is not a horror film at all. It is an action flick. It's a good action flick. Character-driven action flick. Surprisingly well written, extremely well acted. But Aliens is an action film, not a horror film. Big difference. Another comparison here could be Terminator. If you've seen Terminator 1, Terminator 1 actually is a horror film. It doesn't seem like it because it's so over the top, but the structure and style of it is your classic movie monster slasher film, specifically. And that's absolutely something that Terminator 1 leans into. Terminator 2, continuing the comparison, is absolutely far more leaning on the action side of things. And go figure, I tend to enjoy Terminator 2 a lot more. Yeah, I'm not into being disturbed. I'm not going to name examples, but if you know about the Silent Hill movie, that's disturbing. I don't want to see that. I don't want to play that. That's just a no, you know. Now, very, very true, Blade 12. Having said that, I do have to be completely honest. Every now and again, pushing the boundaries is a good thing. Every now and again. If you're very careful about it, very careful about the execution, very careful about the presentation and the specific placement of pushing the boundaries, that can work. And I can name many examples of that where that absolutely works for me. But again, Silent Hill movie, no. Do I think Terminator 1's a good movie? Real talk, I haven't seen Terminator 1 in over a decade. So I'm not sure, is my answer to that. I would consider Blair Witch to be an extremely boring film. I have actually seen that. I haven't seen The Exorcist in a really long time. So I'm not sure about that one. You know my favorite moment in Terminator 2? That's a lie. One of my favorite moments in Terminator 2? Because it's a wonderful example of being horrifying without going into actual horror. It's a joke scene, but it's really not, if you think about it. And it's one of those moments where the more you think about it, the more horrifying it gets. It's a scene where... Oh, God, the dog. Oh, God. That's not the scene I was thinking about, but that is an absolutely great example of what I'm talking about. No, I'm talking about the scene where the T-1000 morphs onto the helicopter, sits there, turns to the guy and says, "Get out." And the guy jumps out. It's played for laughs. But actually think about that for a second. Really process that. Have you ever dropped from that high of a height? Yeah, we never actually see what happens to that guy. It's just... And the guy so immediately... Yeah, no parachute, no nothing. He just jumps out of the... helicopter. He could have actually died from that. He might have survived. If he survived, he might be a cripple for the rest of his life. We don't know. And yeah, that's a wonderful bit of quiet terror. It's the kind of thing T2 actually does very well. Like the scene Blade 12 mentioned with the frickin' dog, which, God, they're so quiet about it too. She's just talking on the phone and just talking about this. She just does this, and you hear this noise, and then she's just doing this for a minute. Yeah. I have actually seen the original Psycho, although not in a very long time. I saw it in school. That's how long ago that is. Okay, so hang on. Let's finish this stupid quest, shall we?
Was there something else?
Yeah, I want to pay off his debt.
Do you now? Very well. Let me take a look at his... Here, his current balance. And do remember, all transactions are final.
Sure, done.
Be cleared. Wonderful. Dr. Walker's debt is officially no longer our problem. You have my thanks. Oh, and if you do find him, please let Percival know I'm eagerly looking forward to never working with him again.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about that mental hospital in T2. And yes, that was 21,000 credits, which I tossed over without hesitation. Because I'm sorry, giving the known illegal trade company of massive moral illegality, or not illegality, immorality, excuse me, massive immorality, access to a performance-enhancing drug, no. Just no. Yeah, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Oh, that's... Hey, Gideon Emery.
Yeah?
Took care of the debt.
Did you now? Fine work. My end of the bargain then, I suppose. He's holed up in the old Red Devil's HQ. Place was sealed up tight after the UC shuttered our unit, but we snuck him in the back entrance through the deep mines. Was also going to warn you about spacers down there. But it sounds like you might have already tossed those dregs. Here, the passkey. And I'll let him know there's someone he owes one hell of a thank you on their way down.
It's Gideon Emery, Lunareth. You might recognize him as Fenris from Dragon Age 2, or Lorthamar from World of Warcraft, or 7 trillion other roles. He's a very prolific voice actor. Yeah, Balthier in Final Fantasy 12. He's pretty common.
I heard you helped out Mitch. I know.
Yeah, the original voice actor for Urian J in FF14. Male Crusader in Diablo 3. Hello, Act. Yeah, as you might surmise, we're getting close to cutting off. I just want to finish this chain. Unfortunately, brother-in-law has contracted the illness. The last one to get it. I feel really bad for him. I really hope he doesn't have the kind of time I did, because I did not have a good time. So I don't quite understand your question, Star Wars. What do you mean by going to punk? Can you give me an example, please? You know. Oh, that's what you mean by platoon. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm just not. I'm fine with violence within reason. I mean, I love playing Doom games, right? But then again, if you've played the Doom games, you know, that's not realistic violence. That's not, well, gory. That's ridiculous. It's hilarious and over the top and kitsch, I think is the word I would use for that. Yeah, Doom is wacky. And I'm okay with wacky. I have experienced real violence in real life. It's quite unpleasant. I know. It's shocking. Shocking hot take from the lore runner here. I'm not a big fan of perceiving anything approximating realistic violence or gore in real life, because, no thank you. I don't... it's not on my personal list, Gray N7. I don't know if it's on the list or not. I'd have to check the website. Yeah, exactly, Scales of Justice. I don't like to use phrases like trigger warning or triggered, because those are a little bit abused by people who have no idea what those phrases mean. But no, I have some legitimate triggers when it comes to realistic violence. And yeah, usually you see realistic violence more in movies or shows. It's not really the purview of games. Thought I saw some loot. Spec Ops: The Line tried to be realistic violence. It failed miserably. Just like the rest of that terrible game. We've lost something as a culture because we've lost Spec Ops. No, we haven't.
Must be the one who got me out of the red with the trade authority. Can't say I don't appreciate it, but I doubt you came all this way just to do me a... So what are you doing?
Wow, we actually got a bounty for that. That's hilarious. I know, Plutonia. I was actually concerned, legitimately concerned, when it came to streaming The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2, because I was worried they would be realistic violence. They're not. They're ugly in several ways, but that's not realistic violence at all.
Got me out of the red with the trade authority. Can't say I don't appreciate it, but I doubt you came all this way just to do me a favor. Now you want to explain to me why you're going around harassing nefarious old men by wiping away their hard-earned debts?
Yeah, this has been a bit of a walk around. I need you to get this tissue sample analyzed immediately.
Tissue sample? You came all the way down here for that?
Yeah.
Must be some damn important cells. You want to tell me what I'm about to be staring at?
No, Von Falkenstein, and honestly, I don't think I ever will. These are terramorph cells from a world too young to have one.
A fast-growing terramorph. That is concerning. Who exactly told you to bring this to me?
Hadrian Sannon.
Hadrian? She gave you this? If she made you come all the way for this... Let's get inside. I need to see these cells.
Gonna ask you to not touch anything. Got some projects in the works down here, and I wasn't expecting guests. Oh,
yes, Saber for life.
How you took care of the debt.
Just paid the whole thing off, huh? Hope it's obvious from my current circumstances that that's gonna be a gift, not a loan.
Yep.
All queued up. Let's gaze into this abyss, shall we? All right, just get those cellular markers tagged.
Wait. Where are the markers? This can't be right. This sample, it's Londinian. I'll need to get this all on a slate. Adrian really gave you this sample. You're not lying to me? Because if you told me this was a hoax, and it'd be the best damn fake I've ever seen, I'd be mad and very, very relieved.
Yeah, no, I collected it from the terramorph myself.
Can't just humor an old man, huh? This sample, it's got all the indicators of the worst terramorph attack in human history. I presume you've heard of Londinian.
Actually, yeah.
It was a city wiped completely off the map by terramorphs. The swarms are so bad, they had to blow the spaceport and seal the place off from the galaxy at large. Not a lot of samples made it off the world from the time of the attack, but the ones that did, well, they look just like this one. I didn't detect any of the telltale signatures this specimen ever sat on a ship while it was alive, either. I don't think it was transported to Tal Ceti. This specimen, it grew there, faster than any terramorph should. Which means, if we're about to start a new era in human-terramorph relations, where big, sudden Londinian-style attacks can happen outside Londinian, that's not gonna end well for humanity. So, you lugged this bad omen all the way here. You want to tell me what your plans are for it now?
I'm supposed to take you and that analysis to Hadrian at something called the Sixth Circle.
The Circle, huh?
Could use a drink about now. Here, faster we take the lift to the surface. Not supposed to use it, but given the circumstances, I'm inclined to just ask forgiveness. Let's get going.
Thank you very much, Grand 7. I do always appreciate your support, even when I'm not exactly at my best. I will put that towards adding RoboCop Rogue City to the list. That's just on Steam, right? Like that's not one of those Epic games. Just to verify. It sure sounds a lot like Billingsley, yeah. I'm not sure though. They've brought in a lot of actors for this one. You'll figure. I'm not going to be mad about the fact that they gave me a shortcut to the exit, because at least it's better than Oblivion. Like, I'm sorry, I'll always prefer shortcut dungeon design than, you know, having to backtrack through the damn dungeon every time I leave.
The UC Exchange is a great place to buy your weapon.
Is that really her? Hadrian.
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hassling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say...
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back.
I was about to say, are you about to suggest that talking in the bar is more private? You know, if we ever review Chaos Wars, which we almost assuredly will not, that would probably be the game that maxes out the voice acting negatives. I'm not sure anything could ever surpass that.
Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble.
I mean, a little more gunfire than I usually take on my delivery jobs, but it's fine.
That's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the Cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on 2 conditions. 1, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And 2, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti. With both of us.
You want us to get into the Armistice Archives? Okay.
Well, that's about the best news I've had all day. But before you commit, I want to make sure you know the whole story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Okay.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. and the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done.
Yeah, I know who you are. I don't care.
Oh, well, that means a lot. It's not something I'm exactly proud of. But it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying terramorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it.
Okay, let's go talk to him.
All right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
It must be great to be able to see yourself whenever you want. I bet your whole house is full of mirrors.
Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and cut off there for the night.
Percival walking through there with you? Oh, glad to see he's still kicking.
However, I wanted to comment on something, because Lord Haremont brought up something that just kind of sounds like a nightmare scenario. Imagine a game voice acted entirely by adorable frogs. Imagine a game entirely voice acted by AI bots. Now, first of all, I've heard AI voice acting. It's not great. So that's its own kind of things of bad. But second of all, I think I would actually decide, because I'm kind of against that whole idea.
It's a feast for the eyes, a dessert for the senses. And now I'm hungry.
I think based purely on what I can only refer to
Over here.
as like moral reasons, I would probably call that the worst voice acted game ever. Yeah, I think that would be a hill for me. I really do. Because obviously I'm a little bit biased there, having done voice acting work myself since I was in school, and having done voice direction work quite a bit as well in my life. And the idea of just is just a little bit too much for me. So I think if we were to cover such a nonsense, terrible big game, it would be many, many, many negatives. For now, I'm going to go try to recover a little bit. I'll see you guys.